What's up, Scarlet Knights fans, man? I'm sorry I couldn't do, again, a good video. I'm sitting here. I was out and about today. A lot going on. It's your host, Larry K, man. Just bad showing today. Bad showing today. I mean, unfortunately, as much as Pike is a really good coach, as much as he's accomplished great things for this program, and we really can't turn our nose up at what he's accomplished, and as much as the future of the season is still in front of us. I mean, look, this program, this is unfortunately par for the course for this program. Every year you're going to have a stinker. You're going to have a couple stinkers where the team just can't hit a shot, can't buy a free throw, and this is what you wind up with. No threes for the entire game, basically. Can't get one to fall at all. No one stepping up and being the shooter you need. Some guys are playing decent defense. Mag's defense was not bad. Cliff, a decent amount of offensive productivity, but just absolutely outplayed on the defensive side of the ball. This is not new. Cliff is a good rim defender. He is somebody who, when he turns his game up, you saw it against Coburn last year. You see it certain games. When he turns his defense up, he can do a lot. But at other times, Cliff struggles on defense. And I don't want to say struggles like he's one of the worst people. I'm just saying not up to par the way you want him to play. Not the level you want a guy of his caliber to play. A caliber you want a guy like that, need a guy like that to play if you're going to win basketball games down the stretch. So, that's always been something, whereas Miles was a very good defender. Cliff's defensive game is, I don't think, ever as strong as his offensive game. But you can't put this on him. You had the unfortunate injuries to Mulcahy. McConnell's still out. We don't really have any idea at this juncture, how long these two guys are going to be out. We're not getting a lot of answers. So it remains to be seen how long these guys are out, and it's something to monitor for certain. But without two of your starters, you're going to struggle. However, you can't put this all on just not having two of your starters, because you should have other players. The way the team is constructed and the way Paul and Caleb play, should have other guys who can put the ball in the net. Not having Paul and Caleb is not the reason you're not scoring. Not having Paul and Caleb is not the reason you're not hitting threes. So, you can't hang it all on that. Although I'm sure it messed up the chemistry a little bit. I'm sure it's a concern. You can't put it all on that. You just can't. So at the end of the day, it's a tough loss. It's our first loss. And another thing this team does is they struggle in neutral sites. They struggle on the road. And here we are. Our first game in a neutral site, and we lay an egg. We lay an egg. I'll maybe sit down and do a little more of a more specific breakdown, and I apologize I haven't done that. After the first two games, it's been running around like crazy, and I haven't been able to actually sit and pay attention the way I want to. But you got to just flush this down the toilet. At least it's Temple. It's not like a low team. I think Temple, I mean, they've been mixed this year so far. Had a good win, had a bad loss. We'll see where they end up at the end of the year. The caliber of team they are, it's not going to destroy our chances at the tournament or anything, but you better pick it up. You better get your stuff straight. You better start hitting shots. You can't just be playing patty cake games against easy teams at home all the time and only be able to shoot in those situations. You better be able to shoot the ball. You better be able to have some offense. You better be able to sink some free throws when you're on the road, when you're on a neutral site, especially against a team that's not a Big Ten team. So a lot to be desired. Not the end of the world, but just a stinker, which this program is known to put up a stinker. And they put up a stinker today. Second half was much better. They actually outscored Temple for most of the second half. Second half was better, but it's not good enough. And not hitting any threes down the stretch in the middle of the second half is a huge problem. Not hitting free throws in clutch moments when we had the lead down to 8-6 is a huge problem. Now, is it because these kids are young? That's part of it, yeah. They got to get used to the big lights. They got to get used to playing away from home. Understood. But it's still not an excuse. So just a stinker, man. Flush it. Some stuff to discuss and analyze, some things to like, some things not to like. Cliff's defense, a lot to be desired. Mag's offense, a lot to be desired. We got a long way to go. So, long season ahead of us, guys. A lot ahead of us. This wasn't something to celebrate. A rough Friday night game. I never loved it. I never loved the neutral site. I never loved any of it. Was always a little nervous about it. Without Paul, without Caleb, and then these guys, when you're not hitting any free throws, you're not hitting any threes, and the young guys aren't stepping up the way you think they are, Simpson, etc., playing but not playing the way he was the last couple games, this is what you're going to get. So, Scarlet Faithful, I love you. I'll see you at the game tomorrow against Penn State. We know how that probably is going to go, but I'll be there, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Have a good weekend.